Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is the best of the best, a new synthesizer deck featuring some of the best cards you can play alongside the factory. We've got a little bit of everything, from copying, blinking, token pump, card draw, removals, and a wipe. A lot of the cards we're playing have been in previous synthesizer lists, but with this deck brings them all together. As usual, the aim of the game is to get a synthesizer in play, then populate the board with Robot Overlords. The AI are hungry for opponent flesh. Meat is back on the menu, boys. Getaway Glamer is a versatile card. We can use it to blink one of our men, or even an opponent's if it means saving our skin. It also works as removal for the biggest guy if they have something unusually large early on before we've had a chance to generate some Robot Overlords. And of course, because it has Spree, we can choose one of the two options, or if we have enough mana, we can do both. 3 steps ahead is a staple for any synthesizer deck. We can use it to counter or draw, but what we really want to do is make a token copy of a synthesizer. With enough mana, we can use multiple modes and take advantage of the different options. Not on My Watch is an excellent removal that snipes any attacker coming in for hits for only 2 mana. With some men out there being rather difficult to deal with, this will send them packing for the free trip to Belize, never to be seen again. And that's how we like it. Caretaker's Talent is a very powerful card for token decks, and we make use of it here as well, since our Robot Overlords are all tokens. With it, we'll get card draw, and when we level it up, we'll get a token copy of any token. We'd prefer it be a token synthesizer, but a Robot Overlord would be fine too. At level 3, our tokens will get a bit of a boost, but usually our Robot Overlords won't need it. The Unidentified Hovership is another bit of removal that also triggers any synthesizers we have in play. The Hovership is capable of taking out the majority of men in the current standard, and whichever enemy we hit with it, the enemy will be gone for good. Even if the Hovership is bounced, the opponent will get only a 2/2 to replace the guy we abducted. The synthesizer is our key card, the critical element of this deck. We'll want to get one in play as soon as possible and start generating Robot Overlords to conquer the enemy. The Helm is an amazing sidekick to our synthesizer, as we will get a map token with every token we generate. This will serve to increase the stats of our Robot Overlords, and we can use the map tokens for additional draw to clear out any lands we have on top of our deck. Abuelo is a card we've used in the past to blink artifacts and men for additional enters play effects. Here we can use him to blink a synthesizer or any card that will trigger the synthesizer to generate more and more Robot Overlords. His blink ability does cost 3 mana to activate, but the advantage we get could be overwhelming for the opponent. The Thran Spider is a great tool. It generates a Power Stone token when it enters play and triggers the synthesizer. The additional token serves to boost Robot Overlord stats, as well as extra mana to be able to play out more artifacts. And don't sleep on the Spider's activated ability. It can be used to find more ammo or even dig up a synthesizer. Teferi is a powerful planeswalker that generates token men that get bigger with every card we draw. Teferi simply works great with Caretaker's Talent, as Teferi gets a loyalty boost with every card we draw. Why the card draw, you might ask? Well, we need a way to find our synthesizer. By drawing extra cards, we increase our chances of finding one or more. Steel Seraph is a fantastic tool in any synthesizer deck. The Steel Angel triggers the synthesizer, then gives one of our men or robots one of several critical abilities. Lifelink is one we intend to use to regain any life we've lost. By extending the game this way, we give ourselves a chance that our Robot Overlords will get through for lethal damages. Damages, boys. Damages. The Eternal Wanderer is a blink enabler, as well as being able to clear out all but one enemy. We'll also lose all our men but one, although this is to our favor since we get to choose the men that remain on board. Being able to blink any one of our men to get more triggers from a synthesizer can really put the pressure on the opponent. We can also use the blink ability to prevent an enemy from being able to attack in. And as a bonus, the Wanderer can generate token men with double strike. For lands, we have 2 Mycosynth Gardens, the special land we can use to copy an artifact we have in play, 4 Meticulous Archive, the Azorius Surveil land, 4 Floodfarm Verge, the plains that becomes a duel when we have a plains or island in play. 4 Adarkar Wastes, the pain duel. 4 island, and 6 plains. Playing the deck is comparable to most synthesizer decks we've done in the past. The deck is only slightly difficult to play, with decision points coming early when you have a synthesizer in hand. Early on, use removals to prevent taking too much damage while building up. Play out any early men, but try to hold back Abuelo for later turns when we have more mana and can use him more effectively. A Caretaker's talent early means extra draws that can help us find cards we need, so play one out as early as possible. Always keep in mind that making a token synthesizer is a great way to make extra synthesizers, and we have plenty of ways to keep making token copies of any artifact tokens we have on board. The Robot Overlords are here to take over. That's the deck, boys. Let's go play some games.
Do you want to play a game?
This is SureFeet. How sure are they, bro? We're kicking things off with a shuffler special. We do have a synthesizer and a talent along with double glamour. The Wanderer will be gravy when we get to 6. Keep your pants on. Boris with green? Are you sure, bro? I think only his feet are sure. We draw a second synthesizer, so we'll be able to get underway as soon as we get a third land. We do want to be careful since they are on colors that are excellent at destroying artifacts. We draw a plains at the best time. That lets us play out a synthesizer. No, wait, let's go with the talent first. Let's not lose a synthesizer to an anti-artifact card. They level up their talent, and that's all they can do. This looks like they're on that weird burn deck that uses the talent to filter through their cards. Knowing that, they likely don't have any anti-artifact cards. So let's go ahead and drop our first synthesizer. They were saving that, weren't they? That could have been used on our talent, but they were extra patient and saved it for our key card. This time around, we'll play out the Spider, get a token and a draw, and if they have anti-artifact cards, maybe the Spider will bait them out. They activate their manland. That might be all they have for offense. We'll block and see if they are willing to use another card to finish off our Spider. They do burn another card to knock off our Spider. That's fine. We have card draw, and they have filtering. I like our chances. This turn, we'll play out the second talent. This will give us a double draw when we copy our Power Stone. We draw a pair of 3 steps ahead. That'll give us the needed counter for any artifact destruction cards they throw at us next time we land a synthesizer. That land has a long way to go before it will do us in. It's time to go for our second synthesizer. This time we've got counter backup to stop any destruction spells. They don't like the inbound synthesizer and fire off a helix at the only target they have at the moment. They've been so patient up until now, the wheels are coming off. On top, we have a land and a spider. We'll keep the spider, but we'll ship the land to the bottom. Roxanne, you don't have to turn on the red light. That's fine. They about tapped themselves out, so we might have the go-ahead to make a token copy of our synthesizer, which would be better than countering Roxanne. It's time to see if they've held a card in reserve. We get our token copy, and now we get to see our top two. That's a spider and a hovership. We'll keep them both. We draw a helm, and that's going to seal the game for us. We can use it to make a pile of synthesizers. In fact, let's play it out right away and start making map tokens along with more Robot Overlords. We get an angel as one of our extra draws, and that's a card we have to play out right away. We can use the angel to give our Robot Overlord lifelink when we send it in for damages. We went from hardly anything on board to this massive pile of men. Let's go in for a monster hit. We'll be going back over 20 life. They choose not to block, that's fine. We'll use the hovership to abduct Roxanne. Not that she would have been doing much of anything at this point, but we do have to play something else or toss a card. Roxanne is aboard the hovership. She didn't even get the chance to pack her bags. A sweeper, bro, you need a sweeper. Another talent isn't going to do anything. A beanstalk isn't a sweeper. Nice try. That's GG's. Extra cheese. This is Grimm. His last name is Reaper, but he forgot. We battle against death itself. We get a 3-lander with a synthesizer and a way to copy it. A removal will snipe any early dangerous men, and Abuelo can seal the game when we play him out. Keep. On top, we have a helm, which is perfect. It'll make more copies of the synthesizer once we have a token copy of it. They play out the traditional toxic guy. It's rather annoying, but at some point we'll be able to block it. Hopefully before it does too much damage. That's 1 point of poison, only 9 more to go. We draw our second helm, which is 1 too many now, but that's fine as the synthesizer will be our play. On top, we have another synthesizer and a removal. Let's get the synthesizer first, then the removal. It's unfortunate we didn't hit on a land to be able to copy our synthesizer, but a second one is pretty good too. The toxic enchantment is their play. It takes their toxicity up a notch, and if we snipe their guy, it'll just come back, unless we send it to Belize. As much as we'd like to drop the second synthesizer, I think we have to take out their poison guy. If we take another hit from it, we'll go up to 7 poison counters. Let's stop the bleeding. Here it comes, we'll blink it out and it'll lose the enchantment on it. And we'll prevent another poison counter being tacked on. We'll play out the second synthesizer and check out what we've got coming up. They take the opportunity to snipe our first Robot Overlord, but we'll have more of them coming up on our next turn. We have a land and a Wanderer coming up. Let's take them both. The Wanderer's men will make excellent blockers for their Toxic and Death Touch men. I did consider ditching the Wanderer. It is rather pricey when we're low on lands. They're going to need a lot of removals if they're going to want to keep attacking in. It's easy to get rid of one guy, but now we have two, and we'll keep adding Robot Overlords to our board from here on out. They play out a Rot Priest, which means we shouldn't target any of their stuff unless we want more poison counters. Luckily, they haven't played anything that has flying. They send their Toxic Avenger in, but this time we're blocking up. Sure, we lose a Robot Overlord, but that's fine. We're in preservation mode now. Generally, I like to use the map tokens to help draw out any lands we have on top, but if we don't have a land, then we won't have the mana to fire off our 3 steps ahead to copy a synthesizer. Let's hold off on the map token and send in our Robot Overlord for damages. Damages, bro. Damages. They snipe our Robot Overlord and then make the mistake of turning their Rot Priest sideways. Looks like an easy hit, right, bro? But we have a surprise synthesizer coming in, and a pair of Robot Overlords that are ready to block Spring Up. And we'll block up. Unless they have removals for our men, we'll be able to take them down when we swing in. That was not removal. Oopsie poopsie, bro. No need to do anything. Let's just get in for hits. GG's, bro. This is Daryl. He likes long walks on the beach and wears sexy pants. Keep them on, bro. We get a Shuffler special with a lot of goodies. We have a Surveil land, which will help us dig up a 3rd land. We've got Draw and Life Gain. I like it. Keep your hopes up. Our Surveil land shows us a removal, but that's not what we need. Let's slide it on over and try for that 3rd land. Swipe left, boys. We drew a Spider, which is all right, but what we really want is that 3rd land. It's going to be critical. They play out a Mana Mouse, one that can get bigger and bigger, but it's still kind of slow. That, ladies and Sharkmen, is a 3rd land. We got it right on time. Let's Synthesizer up and check out our top 2 cards. That's a land and a Hovership. I like them both, and we'll keep them in that order. Their play is a Gwenna, a rather solid monster we need to abduct with the Hovership. We can't let them keep Gwenna. The Mana Mouse is a spectator, apparently. Maybe they have Snakeskin Veil to protect their men. If they have it, they have it. We'll go for the Hovership play anyways. Even if they do have protection, we will still get a Robot Overlord. They did not have the protection, and Gwenna is safely aboard. A Wandertail Mentor is their play. It would seem like a good card, but it's too slow to keep up with our Robot Overlords. They know it and get out of town, Charlie Brown. This is SagEva High. Yes, hello SagEva, thanks for coming on the big show. We get a 4-lander with a removal, an Abuelo, and a Teferi. It's not the best hand, that's for sure. A Surveil land might help us draw into some business. Keep your pants on. Is this another Toxic Bro? At least we have a removal in hand already. Our Surveil land gets us another Surveil land. We'll keep it. We take the first hit. Nothing we can do about that, but we'll have our removal ready for their next attack. They fire off an Augury, which will get them more ammo. Or what's more likely is they are looking for a land. They come in looking to add another poison counter. Negative Ghost Rider, the pattern is full. They get another toxic guy on board and follow it up with another augury. We'll play out the hovership and abduct their toxic guy. That's it for that one. Next. They're doing a pretty good job of keeping plenty of cards in hand. It seemed like they might run low on ammo earlier, but they've got a decent deck. We get to 5 mana and it's time for Teferi to help us out. Let's draw, since we're still on the lookout for one of our synthesizers, and Teferi can help us find one. We draw a land, but we're another card closer to our key card. At least that's what we hope. They snipe Teferi and get us up to 5 poison all in one go. We might be cooked, boys. Let's play out the spider this time, and if it stays on board, we can use its ability to help find a synthesizer. As a bonus, we can crew the hovership and send it in for damages. It's only 2, but it's a step closer to getting them to 0. They snipe our spider as well, which is a real shame. That might have been our chance to get in this game gone. Well, all we got left is Angels and Abuelo. Let's load up on Angels, and hopefully we can get in some hits with them. We'll crew up and go in with the hovership. They shrink down the hovership and take us to 8 poison. They've got a loaded hand, so this could very well be our last turn. They use a removal, but luckily that is not one that adds a poison. Then they have another, which will add a poison. The question here is, do we crew the hovership and sacrifice that to their removal? I think we let the hovership take the fall. They'll get a 2/2 guy when they manifest Dread, but a plain 2/2 is not all that frightening. We'll go with Abuelo since his blink ability could make our angels bigger if we get to blink them. They had a counter ready for the first card we played. Up next is another angel. We'll play this one out for its full price. They just need one more poison. Question is, what are they going to play to get us there? And they make a token right away. Apparently they've run out of ammo. We draw a Wanderer and we'll play her out. Her +1 ability is great at holding off one of the enemy, and we'll use it to snipe the token. Let's give our angels vigilance and get in for hits. We got them down to 1, and it comes down to what they draw. They use a snare to bounce one of our angels. Oopsie poopsie, bro. What they should have done was used it to bounce the Power Stone token. That way they would get to proliferate us to 10 poison. They oopsie poopsie yet again, right in the old trousers. GG's, bro. This is HunterX. You should leave your X alone, bro. In fact, don't hunt anyone. We get another shuffler special with a synthesizer and double hovership. We got a removal for any early threats, as well as a 3 steps ahead for copy shenanigans. Keep. We draw a third land right away, and it's a surveil land. Let's check out our top card, and it's another synthesizer. We will be making Robot Overlords this game. They play out a willing victim to an abduction. Very nice, bro. They juggle their lands a bit. Looks like they tapped the wrong land there. Oopsie poopsie, bro. They come in, but we like being at 20 life while we're getting ready to start setting up shop. We play out our first synthesizer and get to look at the top 2. That's a land and an angel. I do like both, especially since we'd like to have a pain-free second white mana for the angel and the hoverships. Let's go for the second synthesizer and check out our what we have after the land. They don't like Robot Overlords and snipe our first one. There will be more. You better have brought a ton of removals. This turn will pass. We'll go ahead and make a surprise synthesizer at the end of their turn. They play out a cornucopia, but that's not going to be enough life gain. The pain train is coming, bro. We've got plenty of ammo to work with and keep generating Robot Overlords for quite some time. They sniped the first Robot Overlord that pops out of the factory, but we have a second one coming out right behind it. They didn't bring enough removals. Let's play out the angel for its full price. Then we'll get in there for damages. Damages, bro. Damages. Surely they'll be able to find what they need with a 250 card deck. I wonder if any of these giant deck players get scrooged by drawing lands for like 20 turns in a row. I mean, if a third of their deck is lands, that's over 80 lands. They fire off a breach, but that's only going to get them a pair of men at best, and they'll need at least 4 blockers to survive our next attack. We can use the hovership to eat whatever they get from our deck. We'll be able to abduct both men. That's going to be GG's. Thanks for showing off your gigantic deck, bro. And that, my friends, is another satisfied customer.